You can't just say you take security seriously, you need to prove it. That's where due care and due diligence come in. These aren't just legal buzzwords, they are cornerstones of responsible security management. If something goes wrong, these are the standards by which your decisions and your defenses will be judged. Let's unpack what each term means and how they guide your daily actions as a cybersecurity leader. Due diligence is your process of investigation, evaluation, and careful planning before making a security decision. It's your opportunity to proactively identify risks, gather the right information, and ensure that the decisions you're about to make are informed, justified, and defensible. When you perform due diligence, you're showing that you don't operate on assumptions. You operate on evidence. For instance, before you partner with a cloud provider, you take the time to review their security certifications, examine their breach history, and evaluate their service level agreements, SLAs. You're not just choosing a vendor, you're verifying that they can meet your organization's security and compliance expectations. Before you approve a company acquisition, you conduct a deep dive into their security posture. That means assessing how well they protect sensitive data, reviewing any past security incidents, and checking whether they comply with standards like GDPR or industry-specific regulations. You're ensuring that the deal doesn't bring hidden security liabilities with it. And before you launch a new application or service, you take steps like threat modeling, secure design review, and architecture assessments. You want to uncover vulnerabilities before they become real problems in production. Think of due diligence as your security homework. It's the step where you demonstrate that you understand what's at stake, have asked the right questions, and are preparing to act with eyes wide open, not blindly. Due care is all about action and responsibility. It refers to the reasonable, practical steps you take after identifying a risk. It's where your intentions become visible, where your plans turn into protection. Once you've assessed the risk, due care is how you demonstrate that you took it seriously and acted accordingly. For example, if you discover that employees are using weak or reused passwords, due care means implementing multi-factor authentication, MFA, to reduce the likelihood of unauthorized access. It's your way of responding with a control that's proportionate to the risk you identified. If you've assessed that phishing is a growing threat in your organization, you respond by rolling out a security awareness program, educating your users, running phishing simulations, and helping people recognize red flags. That's due care in action, equipping people to be part of your defense. Let's say your team just completed an incident response after a ransomware scare. Due care means you take the time to update your incident response plan, improving it based on what went well and what didn't. You're not just moving on, you're learning and strengthening your posture. Ultimately, due care is the execution of your responsibility as a cybersecurity professional. It's your proof that you didn't just acknowledge the risk, you responded with action, foresight, and accountability. It's what separates intention from negligence. When a security incident or breach occurs, one of the first questions you'll face is, did you act reasonably? That's the standard by which your decisions will be judged, internally, legally, and ethically. If you can demonstrate that you exercised due diligence by thoroughly evaluating risks ahead of time, and that you followed through with due care by implementing appropriate controls, you're much more likely to be viewed as a responsible, competent security leader. Even if the outcome wasn't ideal, your actions show that you made informed, good faith efforts to protect the organization. But if you can't show either, no assessment, no action, no record of thoughtful planning, you may be perceived as negligent. And in cybersecurity, negligence can have serious consequences. Regulatory fines, legal action, brand damage, and even personal liability, especially in industries with strict compliance obligations. That's why it's critical for you to document everything, from risk assessments and technical reviews to policy decisions, approvals, and remediation steps. Your documentation becomes your evidence that you did your job with care and accountability. It's not just paperwork, it's your line of defense and proof of leadership. Let's say your organization is planning to outsource payroll services to a third-party provider. This is a high-impact decision involving sensitive employee data, so your role is critical. You begin with due diligence by thoroughly assessing the vendor. You review their data protection practices, examine recent audit reports, and confirm they meet privacy regulations like GDPR or CCPA. You're making sure they're not just convenient, they're capable and compliant. Once the vendor is selected, you shift to due care by implementing security controls. You encrypt payroll data in transit, monitor the connection for unusual activity, and require the provider to undergo regular security assessments. You're not just trusting their promise, you're verifying it with action. Together, your approach shows leadership. You didn't just evaluate the risk, you acted on it, followed through, and ensured accountability. That's how you turn good intentions into strong security outcomes. So, what's your leadership takeaway? As a security professional, you're expected to not just know what needs to be done, but to act on it. Due diligence ensures you make informed, risk-aware decisions. Due care ensures you follow through with the right controls and behaviors. When you consistently apply both, you protect your organization, demonstrate leadership, and build credibility and trust, not just in systems, but in you.